What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and, of course, our YouTube channel at NoDQCAW. Thank you all for watching, as you guys do each and every week here on the channel. I really appreciate the support that since I've come back last year. It's been awesome. Let's get right to it. First one's not really a question. It's more of a request for a comment, I guess you can say. And I was talking with a gentleman by the name of The Last Lulu on Twitter. We were going back and forth talking about old interviews and talking about the fact I interviewed Randy Savage at one point, along with Mike, of course, on the Old Extreme Mayhem audio show. And he said, "Nice to hear that. Hope you will share a bit of your own perspective about Randy Savage in your next show of Talk Wrestling." And I can't emphasize enough how awesome Randy Savage was. He was a joy to work with. He was very professional. He and Brian Adams both did a great job on our show that we taped back in October of 03, I believe it was. And we had a great time with him. It was so funny. This was back before I had a cell phone, so we did the interview on the cordless phone here in the house here at Casa de Meacham. And Randy called, and we always screen calls here at this house because we don't want to. We did when we had a house phone. We didn't want to talk to whoever we want to talk to. And my mom heard Randy Savage's voice on the voicemail on the answering machine, and she had her own little mark out moment. It was very, very funny. My mom is not a big wrestling fan. She's not a big fan of wrestling in general, but she knows who Randy Savage is. Always did know who Randy Savage was, and she just kind of had a moment. It was really, really funny. And what I remember most is how laid back Randy Savage was, and how chill he was, and how complete opposite of the intense in your face Macho Man Randy Savage that you see on TV each and every week that he was. It was very refreshing. Of course, a year later he joined TNA for a brief run and had a 6-man. He was more of a run-in part of the main event than he was the actual whole main event, but he was at Victory Road that year, and then he was supposed to get an NWA Championship shot against Jarrett and win the championship, I guess, but things broke down, I guess, when Hulk Hogan started showing up around backstage at TNA back then, and we never saw Randy Savage on wrestling TV again, and unfortunately he passed away 4 years ago now, and it was very depressing to see Randy go. I'm so glad WWE and his family made peace, and then we got the awesome Macho Man DVD earlier. I think it was late last year, early this year, and I watched it. I loved it. I bought it, and it was great to see. All right, the first question today comes from @Mr. on Twitter. Jeff, thanks for replying last Talk Wrestling. Only one question this time. Must superstars be under contract to get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I don't think they didn't have to be at one point. I don't know if they do now, because I know when they revived the Hall of Fame in 2004, I know that Jesse Ventura was under full-time contract. I know a lot of the guys are under full-time contracts, or a Legends contract, or some sort of special deal or whatever. I think now they extend the contract to the wrestler, the superstar, the diva, the celebrity, whatever the case may be. Celebrities usually don't have to, though. And it's their choice to accept it or not, I think. So I don't know the full answer. I do know that a lot of the guys that are under contract now in the Hall of Fame have been under contract for some time, and a lot of the guys they induct in next year's already under contract. Like I gotta believe that the Freebirds are going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame in Dallas next year, and I know Michael P.S. Hayes is already under contract for sure. So @Kaylin James on Twitter. What do you think of Vince Russo considering all history booking with regards to the Attitude Era and TNA stint? Thanks. I personally like Vince Russo myself. He's another one we had a tremendous time working with. We had him on the show, I believe, twice. Maybe once. And he completely changed my viewpoint about him, because I was a staunch Hulkamaniac and hated Russo for what he did to my hero, and one conversation on one interview changed everything for me, because I got to see that Russo was not this spiteful jerk that had been portrayed on WCW television. He was a genuine, real, nice human being. And so I like Vince personally. Do I agree with some of his booking decisions in TNA or WCW? No, but that's not my place to agree or disagree. I'm just a fan trying to watch a decent product. Did I get to a WCW at the end? No. Did I get to a TNA in recent years with him writing the shows? No. And that's not to say it's not just his fault. It's not just, Dixie Carter's fault. It's not just Eric Bischoff's fault. It's not just anybody's fault. So he's not the only guy responsible for the sole fall of professional wrestling. He's just one man. He's just a cog in a wheel. Kevin James also asks, do producers of matches only discuss pre-planned spots or choreograph a whole match between talent? Thanks. It's my understanding that producers give the guys basic bullet points that they have to make sure they hit in the match, and then the guys come up with the rest. That's my understanding. I've never been an actual producer myself. I got caught doing that once for a women's match and got told off for it by numerous people on film. I did it on film even. And got told, and vowed never do it again. So unless I'm involved in the match, I don't get involved with the spot planning of the match. I just know that the producers, I believe, it's my understanding anyway, give them the basic layout as far as the basic spots they have to hit, and then the guys fill in the blanks. This is from Always Joshin' Ya at Always Joshin' Ya on Instagram. Besides Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, and Tyler Breeze, who else can you see going from NXT to the main roster? Bayley at some point. Lucha Dragon's already up. Ascension already is up. I wouldn't be surprised if what's his name? If Rhino goes back to the main roster. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Brian Kendrick makes an appearance, a one-off appearance on the main roster. Now that he's back training. I'd like to see personally Blake and Murphy and Alexa Bliss on the main roster. People asked me a couple weeks ago about the Vaudevillains if they would translate over to the main roster. I don't think they would, but I personally like to see it. It'd be cool to see. At WaltMan1989 on Twitter, do you see a comeback to WWE for Mr. Kennedy? I really thought he had all the tools to be a main eventer. I never say never in wrestling. I've learned that over the years of doing these shows. And I've learned that after 13 years of watching this stuff, actually after 25 years of watching this stuff, 13 years of covering it, you never say never. So it's a possibility. It wouldn't surprise me if Kennedy was back in WWE at some point, and Mr. Anderson. But at this point, he seems to be content with working with TNA, so we'll see what happens down the road. 2 questions from @DeHarris here on Twitter. Would you like to see Finn Balor versus Jeff Hardy? If Jeff Hardy were 100% healthy and 100% straight, absolutely not clean. Yes. That'd be a really cool match. I don't know if Jeff, in his current physical condition or when he's rehabbed from his injuries, would be a viable opponent for Finn Balor in NXT. But again, you never say never in wrestling, especially in WWE. So if the Hardys come back, maybe we'll see the Hardys in NXT. And maybe we'll see Jeff Hardy against Finn Balor down the road. It'd be cool. Should Tony Schiavone go in the WWE Hall of Fame? No. I don't think so. I think there's too much... he was the voice of WCW and the voice of Drew Crockett Promotions for a while when Jim Ross wasn't, when Bob Caudle wasn't, when, so... Jeez. My own personal opinion is no, but do I think he should be? If it's not just my own personal opinion, then yes, I do. I think that he, will be inducted down the line when they have inducted other announcers before him, like Gorilla. He's already in. Like, JR's already in too. Maybe he will be. Who knows? Maybe I'm talking out my ass as usual. All right, that's it for Talk Wrestling this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time.